So hello, everybody. We're just going to give it like a minute just to get you all in and then go from there. So. So welcome everyone. We're just going to give, I'm going to start in around about a minute past, just to give everyone time to come in and make sure that they're all ready for it. Oh, I'm loving the little like sort of thumbs up and the love hearts. So that's cool. I'm liking that. Okay, we're still getting some participants coming in. So it shouldn't be too long, and then I'll start the session. So I hope you've had a really good day. Or if obviously you're starting your day and it's 8 o'clock, then that's even better. Okay, so the participants have stopped now, so there's I haven't seen any new ones yet. So welcome. Today I am going to talk about pod it, blog it, and vlog it. So 3 different areas that is useful in the internet, and you might obviously be used to or seen or know about. So I'm going to talk you through what it's all about, and also how you can maybe start one. What are some skills, some ideas, some activities, some things like that that you can actually do. But first of all, this is the agenda. So this is what we're going to talk about today. So what is podcasting, blogging, and vlogging? We've got a bit of a quiz that we can do together. Then what are the best tools for your job? How to make it about you? How to be an inspiring creator? Keeping it positive, a summary of all of this, as you always do at the end of a session, and then any Q&A. So if you've got any questions, then I'll hopefully answer as many as I can, okay? But that is what we are going to do today. So introduction-wise, it's the silliest photo that I have of myself, but I always use it because, yeah. So who am I? So I am Mike, and I do a YouTube channel called Scoutadelic. And I have been in scouting since I was a Cub Scout. I went into Scouts. I then left to do obviously some exams. And then I came back as a leader because the Group Scout leader at the time had asked the question, what do you do on a Thursday night? And I stupidly said nothing. And here I am. And I've been doing scouting for quite so many years now. I'm not going to say the amount of years that I've been doing it, but let's just say it's a lot of years. I feel old now. That's how long I've been doing this. Okay, so how did I start my YouTube channel? So I was a Cub leader, and we used to do a diary. So we used to let the Cubs take home a diary. They would write in what they did and then bring it back the next week. And we got to the point where it was all right, but we wanted to do something different. So we decided that we were going to do some video diaries. And what I was going to do is we were going to record the session. I was going to edit it, put it up, and then parents could obviously see what the Cubs were doing. But it was also a nice history. It was nice, like sort of time capsule of what we got up to. And then a group in Australia had seen one of our videos, copied our idea of what we did, and then basically they repeated it in Australia. So it was weird that an idea that I had and did with my Cubs in the UK then went around the world almost to Australia, and they copied it. And that just blew my mind, because it was like, this idea that I had, you know, if I hadn't have recorded it, no one would have known that it existed. So that's how the spark came of, why don't we share ideas? And so I started a YouTube channel where I wanted to learn new people and new skills and show the world and hopefully inspire people. So I have been vlogging now. Oh, I do believe it is around about 7 or 8 years that I've been doing Scoutadelic. so my YouTube channel. But then I've obviously been doing it beforehand with the Cubs for like sort of 3 years before. So over 10 years, I've been filming stuff, editing it and putting it on YouTube and hoping that people enjoy it. So that's how long I've actually been doing that. So why did I vlog? So a bit like the story that I was saying about obviously my Cubs, I just want to inspire. I just want people to do something different. Sometimes leaders and young people don't know what there is to do. So your leaders will tell you, oh, you can do A, B, or C, but there could be more options out there. But because the leader doesn't know that, then they're only telling you a small little sample. So I wanted to inspire leaders and young people to go, you know what? I want to do this, or can we do that? Or you know, if a young person says, I want to go to the moon when I'm older, well, how can you actually inspire them to do that in their like sort of setting? So that's why I vlog, to inspire people to do something different with their scouting. Okay, so first of all, what is podcasting? So podcasting comes from an iPod and broadcasting. So if you're old like me, you'll know what an iPod was. So before you had iPhones and everything on your phone, there was like a little device and it would just store music, and that's all it did. And then obviously that disappeared, and now you have iPhones, and even I have music on here that you can listen to down the street and everything else. So everything's now on our phones, but in the old days we had an iPod, and it's very much, it's an audio broadcast, so it's a bit like online radio. So it's basically maybe one or two people having a conversation. Sometimes they interview people. It was first named podcasting back in 2004. And the first podcast, so before it even had a term, was back in October 2003, and it was called The Backstage Pass. So what's blogging then? So blogging was actually originally called a weblog in 1997, and it was shortened to blog in 1999. It's usually written text by a single or multiple users. It can usually feature text and images, and the first blog was in 1995 as an online diary. Nowadays, you'll see most bloggings in more than likely like news articles, like the Scouts, for example. They do a lot of posts about different things. So yeah, that's blogging. And then finally, vlogging is a video blog or a video log. It's visual, so it's like this. It's me talking to you, or it's you know, it's something happening. So moving images. The first vlog was in 2000. YouTube opened in 2005, and may I point out, I was not a part of YouTube at that point. I was still young, I think. And mobile phones alone, YouTube reaches more youngsters in the US than any TV network. Okay, so people are watching more online content. And for me, for example, I very rarely watch terrestrial TV. I'll watch like Netflix possibly, but most of my time is on YouTube, probably watching movies that I already have or can watch elsewhere. But I watch clips of movies and like, oh, that's a good film. Okay, so we've got a quiz. So I think we're able to open the chat for this part only. Okay, so remember in the chat to be kind. You're only answering the questions, all right, and we're only opening it up for this little segment. Okay, so be respectful and only answer the questions when they come up, and see how well you do. Okay, so here we go. So question number 1. So YouTube is watched most on what type of device? So is it a mobile phone or is it a computer? Okay, so post what you think it is. So is it mobile or computer in the chat? Okay. All right, and the answer is it's actually a mobile phone. So 63% of YouTube users watch on their mobile phone. 90% of people actually discover new products and brands from watching YouTube. And there are 500 hours of video that are uploaded every minute. Okay, that's a lot. And to watch it all in a lifetime, you're never gonna cover it. So what I'm trying to say here is, if there's one YouTube channel that you really need to watch that 500 hours of content, it's mine. Okay. Right. So second question then. So how long is an average podcast episode? So is it under 10 minutes? A. Is it 10 to 20 minutes? B. Is it 20 to 40 minutes? C. Or is it 40 to 60 minutes, which is D? So A, B, C, or D. So type in your answers. Let's see how you do. Okay. So again, A is under 10 minutes. B is 10 to 20 minutes. C is 20 to 40 minutes. And D is 40 to 60 minutes. Okay. And the answer is, it's actually C. It's 20 to 40 minutes. An average podcaster listener listens to 6 hours and 37 minutes per week. That's a lot of time. And most of that actually is in the car. Like with my YouTube channel, although it is a video, I have known a few of my fans actually listen to my episodes in the car. So they never get to see how amazing I am on screen. They just listen to me and know that I'm amazing there. Comedy, true crime, and social and cultural are the top categories of podcasts. So social and cultural is actually where scouting would actually sit in the actual thing. So they're third in the top categories of podcasts. And Spotify has 4 million podcast titles. That's just, yeah, again, it's the same like YouTube. You're not going to have enough time to watch it all or listen to it all. Okay, another one then. What percentage of blogs are in English? Okay, so is it A, 40%, B, 50%, C, 60%, or D, 80%? So go on, type in your answers, see how you do. So I'll say that again. So what percentage of blogs are in English? So A, 40%, B, 50%, C, 60%, or D, 80%. Okay. And so the answer is, it's actually C, it's 60%. So each month, approximately 409 million people view more than 20 billion pages. That's a massive number as well. There are 70 million posts that are published each month on WordPress alone. And the average blog post takes 3.5 hours to write. If it's anything like me writing it, it's always trying to spell check and make sure that I've spelt words. Or in most cases, my O key on my laptop doesn't work, so I have to really press hard on it. So yeah, it's probably trying to figure out if I've missed any O's in any of my like sort of correspondence or messages. So number 4, what social media platform is the second place for users? So is Facebook second? Is it YouTube? Is it Twitter? Or is it Instagram? So which social media platform is in second place? Okay, so it's not first place we want second place. Okay, so A, Facebook, B, YouTube, C, Twitter, or D, Instagram. Okay. And the answer is, it's actually YouTube. YouTube, it ranks second in social media platforms than Facebook. So Facebook and then YouTube. It's mind-blowing. I didn't even know that until when I was writing this up. There are 2.1 billion monthly active users worldwide. And most of them are probably subscribed to Mr. Beast. So if you're a Mr. Beast fan, you know, you're part of all of that. 62% of internet users in the US access YouTube daily. 92% of them use YouTube weekly. So in the US, 92% of internet users have at least watched YouTube in a week. Okay, that's just, I know, it's mind-blowing itself. Okay. So as of January 2022, how many of the global population are online? Is it A, 32.9%, B, 48.2%, C, 62.5%, or D, 67.3%? Okay, so as of this year, January of this year, all right, how many of the global population are online? So it's 32.9%, 48.2%, 62.5%, or 67.3%. Okay, here we go. And the answer is 62.5%. So back in 2020, in January of 2020, there was 53.6% of the global population that was online. Okay. In 2022, there's now 4.95 billion people online, and at least half of that is possibly doing Jotty right now. 2/3 of the population use a mobile phone, and 58.4% of the world's population use social media. Okay. And I believe this should be the last question here. Which country has the best internet speeds? Okay. So I haven't given you any answers for this one. So what do you think? Which country? Is it UK, US? Is it Canada? Is it Singapore? Is it Thailand, Hong Kong? You know, pick a country, hope for the best. Which country has the best internet speeds? All right. And the answer is, here we go. It's actually Singapore. So Singapore is the first, then Hong Kong. Thailand is in third. South Korea. So those that are going to the World Scout Jamboree next year, you're in the fourth best internet speeds in the world. So I'm envious. Okay. 5 is Romania. 6 is Switzerland. 9 is the US. And are you ready? Where I am? 46th is the UK. All right. So I think I might move, because I thought my internet connection was quite cool, but I'm not even in the top 10. Okay, so that's fantastic. Thank you very much. So those that obviously got like sort of a really high score, well done to you. That is great. All right. Those that didn't, I hope that you've learned something from this. All right. So that is obviously the chat aspect. So we'll obviously close that off, and let's talk about how you can actually make a difference, how you can actually do something. So when I do my vlogging, for example, I use like a proper camera that has a flippy up screen. And usually, if you're watching my videos, because I wear glasses, this is the annoying thing of glasses, you can usually see the little white thing of me looking at myself, recording myself. It's because I'm seeing this, because I want to be in the center. I want to have my head at a certain bit and so on and so forth. So yeah, so glasses, if you wear glasses, unfortunately, if you're vlogging, you can see it in your like sort of reflection. But I use this. But you don't need to actually have an expensive camera or like sort of anything like that, because mobile phones have TV quality cameras. So the iPhone 14, which I think is the latest one, I'm a Pixel man myself, can shoot 4K at 25 frames per second. Okay. Now, phones are actually used, often used for external microphones. So you will probably see quite a lot of people, you know, if they're interviewing, they'll have like a little like sort of fairy thing on the end of their like sort of microphone at the bottom, and they'll be talking into it. And you'll probably see that they've got the camera there and there. Now, sound is more important no matter what the platform. So obviously podcasting sound is important, but if you're vlogging, sound is more important than actually the visuals. If your visuals are grainy, so if you've got a grainy like sort of camera or whatever, as long as your sound is perfect, people will still listen. But if your sound isn't that good, then people usually will click away. All right. So you can use your phone, you know. I've seen proper interviewers like BBC and all these like sort of media companies actually use mobile phones to talk to people. It's a quick and easy thing. Though, if you have got it, you can obviously get some weird devices where they go over the microphone and you clip it into like sort of plugs. Or alternatively, you can get like sort of really cool things where you can plug in microphones, and then you can go out on the street and maybe look like a proper hello, how are you doing? That sort of thing. But you don't have to. If you can, it's great. But your phone is perfect. They're also portable. So if you want to start yourself your own little podcast, for example, or a blog, you can do that. You can take photos on it. You can write like sort of your different things. You can do all sorts with your mobile phone. You can take the photos, you can put it into like sort of Word, you can type on it, you can do all sorts. Some phones you can also edit. So there's tons of different things, and YouTube now allows you, if you don't have any editing software. So I use an editing software called VideoPad, but for many years I used the Windows free version. And I know a friend of mine who has like an Apple like sort of whatever it is, an iComputer. I'm sure there's probably a technical term for it, but they use there's a movie maker on that. So use whatever technology you have, and then you can build on that. And YouTube Shorts, there's TikTok and Instagram Reels are all vertical short forms. So there we are. You can use your phone. But remember, if you're doing like YouTube, it's sometimes if you're going to do like the long form, horizontal, vertical. Okay, so always remember those types of things. Make it about you. Okay, if you're not passionate about something that you're talking about, people are going to realize. So I'm really passionate about this, as you can probably tell. But if you're not passionate, sometimes it comes across. And if you're doing, say, for example, a podcast or a blog or a YouTube channel about that, and you're not engaged with it, then why are you trying to get other people engaged? It's going to be tricky. So make it something that you are passionate about. Okay. 1/5 of bloggers have been doing it for over 6 years before earning any money. So I roughly earn around about £10 a month. All right. If I was doing it for the money, I'd have gone, hey, that's it. I'm up with it. But I don't, because I love what I do. I love that I get every now and again, I get a message from a scout leader to say, that really helped me out. That was perfect. That's what I needed. So it's little things like that. If you're passionate about it, you'll get there. And if you get successful, you remember me, and just what 10% of your earnings, that ain't bad. Borrow ideas. More YouTubers, you'll notice if you actually subscribe to quite a lot of them, or you watch quite a lot of different like sort of YouTubers, you'll find that they actually use the same thing. All right, and they all constantly do it. So if, for example, like Mr. Beast uploads a video, you'll find that actually a few other YouTubers will try to copy that idea or make it their own, and that's all right, because that's what we're all about. We're all about taking an idea and trying to find out how we can make it into it. What would we do in that situation? So I don't expect there to be another Scoutadelic, but there might be someone who goes, I like what he does, but I would do it this way, or I would focus on this. And that's all right. You make your own stamp on it, but make it passionate, make it something that you can do. Okay. And start with a few pieces of content. So always start with possibly 3 to 5 things. So if you're starting your very first YouTube channel, well, post 3 things or 5 things, because once one person watches one of your videos, if you have got nothing else on the channel, well, they'll wander off and go somewhere else and find something else. But if they've got other videos, they'll watch a second video. And then if they like that, they'll watch the third video. And by the third video, they're subscribed and you've got them. Okay, so always try to have a few bits of content, because they get to find out who you are. What are you about? So don't post one thing, post a couple of things, post 3 to 5 things. So then it gets them engaged, because if they like one video, they'll like the second, they'll like the third, they'll like the fourth, and so on and so forth. So podcasting, okay, there's different podcasts. There's like film podcasts. There's obviously the Diary of the CEO. That's like interview based podcast. So going backwards and forwards. It's really good. I actually get inspired by it. There is also Scouting 5. It's a Canadian podcast. So they do a weekly, I think it's like a weekly podcast about scouting. And they talk about the different scouting news and things like that. And then obviously in the UK, there's Tent Talks, but there's not that many podcasts around, especially if you're in the UK. There's not that many like UK podcasts. So I'm telling you now, if you're going to start a podcast and you want someone to go on to interview, well, give me a shout, because I'm quite happy to promote you and help you out and, get you on your way. Because we need to have all these different avenues to try to get people engaged in scouting, but also passionate about scouting. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? All right, so blogs wise, so there's Jack Monroe. She does a like sort of a cooking like blog. Then there's also the Scouts. I said about like the Scout Association. They actually do blogs about different things that they do. It could be, I know they did one about pride recently. They've done one about like mental health, did one about the Queen. So all these different things, they obviously post a blog about it. Have photos, you know, it's a nice little thing to do. So yeah, think about, you know, if you're not into like sort of doing audio, or you're not really into doing the video, well, you can do a blog, you know, and there aren't that many blogs out there. So again, come on, you're amazing. You are passionate people. Why not do a blog about it? Okay. And then vlogs. So Yes Theory. I love Yes Theory. It's one of my my sort of favorite all-time YouTube channels, and it's all about saying yes to something new. Okay, going out of your comfort zone to try to do something different. All right. There's also another one which I've never seen this one, but I think you all need to maybe subscribe to it. But you know, Scoutdelic, that's another example of vlogging and things like that. And Good Mythical Morning. So when I first pitched the idea in my head to people about Scoutdelic, it was that I wanted something like Good Mythical Morning, where each month it was a different person, it was talking about a different theme, and just enjoying scouting, because that's what it's all about. It's about enjoying scouting, having fun with it, and making a difference. Okay, so with social media and things like that, we've got to talk about the positives and the negatives. Now, social media is great because it allows you to express yourself and be comfortable with yourself. It's community building. So I have a lot of fans out there that will message me every now and again and say, "Are you all right? Are you doing okay? Are you all right?" So it's nice to have that. It's nice to have you know, people feeling like you're part of something. And Jotty is the same. If you've been doing Jotty, you may have come across or chatted to people or found new people around the world. And that's building on this thing that scouting isn't just your group. It's actually a worldwide movement, and there's millions, billions of us around the world. Okay, it's obviously it helps with emotional support. If you're having a down day, there's a lot of people will help you out. Awareness of others, and awareness of other things. But then there are the negatives, and we do need to think about that because they are part of social media. But we also have to realize that we shouldn't try to be affected by them. So obviously, if you're obsessed with like going on your phone or social media apps or anything like that, it can obviously cause bad sleep quality because of the screens. You're always constantly trying to, oh, you know, am I missing out on something? Or I need to check if someone's liked one of my posts. Well, it doesn't matter. I got a bit downhearted because I would release this a really amazing video online, and then one person would have watched it, or two people, or five people. I'd be like, why? What have I done wrong? Where have I not posted it? But if you think about it, if those five people did that activity at their scout group, that's like sort of 20, maybe 30 like sort of young people in each. Okay. And then if they turn out to be leaders, they might be like, oh, that was a really good idea that we did there. So that 5 views or 5 people watching have turned into almost 100 people doing the activity, then possibly more and more. So it, you know, no matter what happens, don't fear that, you know, not many people are like responding to your posts, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of posts out there. Okay. Bullying and body image. All right. That's something as well that we need to take a hold of, that everyone is different. All right. Not everyone is the same. And we've got to treat people equally, you know, be positive about who we are and what people are like. All right. So remember, there are positives, but there are also the negatives, and try your best not to let the negatives do you. I think there's some like sort of sessions on online like sort of things. So if they've already happened, go and check them out, because I think you get to see like the video of them at a later time. All right. So for a better world. So show energy and positive passion towards what you're talking about. All right. Try not to be negative. There's too much negativity in the world. Let's stay positive. Let's obviously be nice to each other. All right. Remember, whatever you type, say, or record is always on the internet. Always think first before you do it. All right. If you're going to go live on something, well, have a script or have a little prompt. So Scout Radio, for example, when they do obviously their radio stuff, they have a prompt of all the different things that they need to make sure that they don't do, or little reminders. All right. I knew of one of my cubs who unfortunately was on social media, and he shouldn't have been because he wasn't old enough, but he went on social media and he was posting his address, and it's like, you can't do this. All right. Because fair enough, you might be like sort of trying to be positive with this, but it's also very negative, because what if someone else got that address? All right. You don't know, once you've posted it, you don't know where it's going to go. All right. So always be mindful of what you're going to post and how it could be perceived by other people. Never bully, never be negative about someone or something using your platform. All right. Always try to be positive. If you haven't got anything positive to say, as my mum would say, then don't say anything at all. All right. Don't try. As I say, there's so much negativity in this world. Let's just be positive. Let's just be nice to each other for a change. All right. We're scouts. We're supposed to be respectful for everyone and all. All right. And be a positive role model for others. All right. Hopefully, I'm a positive role model for you, that you're thinking, actually, being a YouTuber or being a vlogger or podcaster or blogger or whatever, actually, this sounds really good. I could do this. All right. That's hopefully a positive role model for me, but always try to inspire the next person. All right. Always be passionate about, if someone's doing it, oh, how can I help them? How can I boost them up? And that's what it should be all about, this world. Okay. So in summary, be passionate about what you want to do. Okay. If you're not passionate about the subject, then find something that you are passionate about and do that. All right. Use the equipment available. You do not need fancy cameras that flip, that when you look into it, it's reflecting on your actual screen. Okay. Use a phone. If that's all you've got, then that's enough for the time being. And then you can slowly, grow and build and have, tons more cameras, GoPros, aerial acrobats, all these different things. Borrow ideas from others you admire and watch. Try to turn that into, how would you do that? What would you do in that situation? Keep positive in your message. Do it for you and not the money. Like I said, 6 years. You're going to spend 6 years before you even start earning something. All right. And I don't earn that much, but I love what I do. I love to get to speak to you people. So do it for you and not for the money. If the money is great, then, share. But if it isn't, just keep on doing it, because you're helping someone else. Someone else might watch that video or listen to that podcast and get something out of it that will help them in their life. And finally, subscribe to Scoutadelic. Hey, I've got to get the plug out there. What can I say? Because you clearly can't see that, because it's obviously I'm that close to the screen, because my green screen behind me is really small. So if I edge out, you can actually see the corners. You can actually see the corner up there, I think. But yeah, subscribe to Scoutadelic, because there's tons of ideas and activities and things like that. And this weekend, I'm actually doing an online adventure around South Korea as well. So that's something fun that you can do. So if you're going to the World Scout Jamboree, you might be able to get some ideas of what Seoul is like in South Korea. Okay. So now it's Q&A time. So if you've got a question, if I haven't answered it already, you've got a question, please pop it in the Q&A, and I'm going to try to go through all of these. And let's see. So let's start at the top then. So I've got 2.5 views on my YouTube channel. That's amazing. That's brilliant. I'm currently, I think I'm at 8,600. I'm trying to get to 10,000, but I'm not there yet. Okay. All right. How old is your account? I do believe it's around about 7, 8 years. I think I've been doing this on YouTube. So yeah, so that's that one. What's your channel name, please? Well, it's Scoutadelic. So that's that one. I'll get you the code in the end. Don't worry. I'm not gonna forget. You've got a few more times. How can I contact you? Well, just go on my channel. You can get me that way. Hi, same question. Okay. Do you have a blog? I don't, but I actually, or what I've done is I've started, because I've got over 1,000 videos on my channel of different activities. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do like a page, so like a blog in a way. So say, for example, you're doing a thing about Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year. What you can do is you can find it, and then it'll give you some ideas of video activities, crafts, games that you can do. So it's kind of, I don't do a blog myself, but it's kind of, you know, that would be my blog explanation. Can you please explain podcasts again? Podcast is basically, it's basically an audio. It could be a conversation, it could be you interviewing someone. This is very basic that I'm like sort of bottling this down to, but it's basically it can be a 10-minute to an hour long conversation, or you know, you just talking about something passionately, about news, for example. So yeah, so there's that. How long have you been doing YouTube? I'd say around about 10 years now in total, but for my channel only a small thing. What's your favorite video that you've obviously done? Oh, there are so many. I did love all my activities that I did, like sort of during the pandemic. I did some online ones, and I got to wear a pirate hat. I love that sort of thing. When I was a club leader, I used to love the theme camps, and anything that I could dress up as. That's really what the whole thing is. If I could dress up, that would be like sort of perfectly fine. So me dressing up as a pirate and doing the pirate accent, it was great. It's a good idea to open a blog about my jamboree next year. Yes, definitely. I found that as an outsider, I've never been to a jamboree before at all. But there's not much out there. So doing a blog, taking photos, you know, what is the experience like for you, you know, from start to finish? How did you get selected? What was that about? What did you have to do? What are the camps like? How many camps do you actually have to do before the run up to the jamboree? You know, what kit do you get? Oh, I'd love to see what actually kit you get, you know, and envious as well. You know, do you get like a cool backpack? What happens? Then also the activities that you do on site, because you know, like the American one that just happened, there's tons. What, you know, so do a blog, let me know, because I want to read it, I want to know that information. But that's the thing, you're then also inspiring the next scout who wants to go, but it's like, but I don't know what it's about, I don't know what it's for. There we are, you've got this access that anyone can obviously use, so that's great. How to record with hand firm but keep it stable. So in most cases, they always, there are times where you can actually get like a stand for your phone. So you can actually like sort of say it clips, and then, you know, like it's a little like bobble thing. You can stand it on a table, for example, or if you can't even afford that, cardboard. So what you do is you get like a little cardboard, like sort of cut two like sort of hole, like little grooves into it. And then what you can do is, for example, say this is the cardboard, you can actually sit your phone down in that little groove and press record. All right, it's cheap. All you need is an Amazon package, and just tear off like the corner, put little dints in so that it can obviously hold your phone, and boom, it's at the right angle. Perfect. Stands up, easy, done. Do you like your job? Well, Scoutdelic isn't my job because obviously I don't get paid that much. But I do love passionately doing it. It's great fun. It's fantastic. I really do it because I just, if I can inspire someone to do something, it's great. I just looked at your channel and I feel you're doing great. I haven't watched anything yet, but I'll watch. Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Can we do vlog, blog, and podcast as a hobby? Yes. So this is my hobby. I don't do this as a full-time job. It seems it sometimes. During the pandemic, I did my full-time job because I worked from home at that point. And then after work, I went straight into filming something, editing it, putting it up. It's a lot of work to do. I'm not going to lie to you. All right. Filming it is quicker than editing it. Okay. If I edit a 20-minute like sort of episode, for example, that takes me around about 6 hours to do. Okay. So yeah, do it as a hobby, but then if it becomes a full-time job, perfect, brilliant, well done for you. I'm envious. I make videos on cars. That's great. If you're passionate about that, that's fantastic. There's tons of that. What is your country? I am from the United Kingdom. I'm from a little place called Hull. And if you picture the UK as like a person, mine looks like I'm just on the top lip. So it juts out a bit and then goes in and then back out again. And I'm on the top lip about halfway up. So nowhere near London, but yeah, I'm in the UK. And from Indonesia, how about your opinion for negative content channel? And many people follow that channel. There are, I know of it, there are people who promote negativity, and sometimes more people will talk about a negative thing than a positive thing. Okay, it is unfortunately sometimes our nature. We've got strong opinions, so we will talk about or be very negative. If someone says, I don't like chocolate, well, you're going to get all the people who like chocolate to like sort of come at you and say, oh, I like chocolate, and oh, have you tried this chocolate? Okay, whereas if I said I like chocolate, there's not that much engagement. The downside of that is just you're going to have to stay positive, because if you want to be negative all the time and that isn't you, that isn't your personality, then yeah, it's not like great. I always think, yeah, there are probably like sort of people online that I don't get along with, but I just don't talk to them. Or if they're harassing me, I just block them. I don't have to talk to them. Same thing, in online stuff. So yeah, be positive. Which app do you use to edit? I use a program called VideoPad. So that's what I normally use. But I have in the past used Windows Movie Maker, which was on Windows a long time ago. Showing my age if they don't do that anymore. But I also know that Apple has like sort of their own online like sort of programs type things, and they're for free. So try the free stuff first. But I only went to VideoPad because I wanted to have like sort of different scenes over clips and this, that, and the other. And that was easier for me. And I pay around about, I think it's something like £10 a month for it. But in the end, it works out. Okay. Can you give some tips on how to start a YouTube channel? So find what you're passionate about. Okay, so write a list of everything that you like or you're passionate about, and then write some ideas down. So if there are YouTube channels that you watch that are of the same like sort of thing, then actually write down, or video ideas, or oh, I like how he did that, but I do this differently, things like that. Okay, and then try to film some, edit them down, see what you think, use some free software, some free graphics, and put them out. But always you're looking at putting out maybe 3 to 5 on the same day, because if one person likes it, like I said, like sort of earlier, then they'll watch another video, and then they'll watch another video, and then by the third video they're subscribed to you, and then you can keep on going. And then try to make it, don't make it that you're forcing yourself to do it weekly or monthly. Just try to make it about you. Okay. When you started, were you shy and embarrassed to tell others? If I'm wearing this orange hoodie, I am very like sort of outgoing, but in reality, I'm very shy. If you see me in person, I'll talk a mile a minute like I'm doing, because I'm nervous. And I just want to keep on talking. I just want to keep on like sort of chatting and doing all this, that, and the other. And so I am a very, very nervous and shy person, an individual. It took me, the first time that I ever went out to interview anyone, it took me a good, I'd say about 30 minutes to an hour to actually go up and get the courage to go up and actually ask someone. Once I did, it was fine. So it was all done. Okay. I'm very concerned. Well, there we are. I think that is all of us done. It's been fantastic. Thank you very much for being a part of this. And I hope you're having a great like sort of jamboree on the internet. It's been great to obviously like sort of speak to you. And one last one: how to give some tips on how to grow subscribers. Just be yourself. They'll come. Okay. There's a really good film. So yeah. There we go. Awesome. So have a lovely day. I think that's time. Look at me. I'm almost, I'm like a minute off, but I'm almost done. But have a great day. Thank you again. It's been brilliant. So yeah. Oh, the code. Sorry. Yes, I did forget. Your code is OQS7Q. There we are. Your challenge code. Sorry. I do apologize. There we are. So it's OQS7Q. and have a lovely day.